This is a sort of follow-up video to a couple other videos that I've made a few years ago. This year, I got the itch to play some competitive multiplayer games, and since arena shooters are my favorite competitive game genre, a bit of that meant finding which arena shooters were still populated and being played in the grand year of 2026. And so I've tried a bunch of them, and I want to talk about my general experiences playing them, and recommend which ones are worth your time. The arena shooter genre is unfortunately pretty niche at this point, and finding good arena shooters with active player bases can be tough. So listen in and I'll try and help steer you to the right place. Also, I'm going to be treating this like you already know what arena shooters are. I'm not going to be doing in-depth mechanical reviews for these games, I'd just be repeating myself over and over if I did. I'll mention the general feel of the game and some positive and negatives, but these are arena shooters. There's not much else that I can say that hasn't already been said, and all of these games feature a variety of game modes to enjoy. To start, I want to circle back to some of the games that I talked about in the past and see how they still hold up. So without further ado, let's get to it. Dusk World. Dusk World is the multiplayer mode included with Dusk. In my past video, I mentioned how Dusk World is a lot of fun, but suffered from an incredibly small player base. Unfortunately, this hasn't really changed, as the last few times I've tried playing there have been 0 other players on with me, and there's no options for bots. A shame because it's genuinely fun, but at least you get a full boomer shooter campaign when you buy this one. Goat of Duty. Like with Dusk World, when I've tried playing it recently, there have been 0 other players on. A plus is that you can play with bots, but since this game costs $10 and it's still in early access with 0 players, it's hard to recommend compared to other games in the genre. Warfork. Warfork is a fork of Warsaw, and it's basically the same deal as it was when I talked about it before. There's a small number of players online. They seem to only stick to the race mode, so if you're looking to play any other game mode, you're out of luck. I think there's a way to play with bots, but I couldn't quite get that to start for me. Toxikk. I loved Toxikk. I've talked about it twice before, and it's a blast to play. Unfortunately, when I've been on, I've been unable to find anybody else on, though Steam Charts does indicate that it can have a small pool of regular players. Thankfully, Toxikk has bots. If you're looking for what is, in my opinion, the best Unreal Tournament-style arena shooter out there, Toxikk is it. I just wish more people were playing it. Splitgate, Arena Reloaded. Finally a game with some players. I've never had trouble finding full matches with Splitgate Arena Reloaded. I've been able to play various game modes other than Deathmatch. Splitgate Arena Reloaded is the second sequel to Splitgate, and is a complete relaunch of the game after Splitgate 2 flopped. Surprisingly, people with access to the Splitgate 2 alpha seem to be really into it, according to Steam Charts. I didn't play Splitgate 2 because the focus on operators and the Battle Royale was a turnoff to me, but I do enjoy Arena Reloaded. I have not touched the Battle Royale mode in this game though, I play strictly the arena modes. It features the same Halo-style arena shooter fun, with the addition of Portal-style portal mechanics. It's not too different from the first game, so check my review out for that for more mechanics discussion. My biggest gripe with Arena Reloaded is the way that loadouts work. For one, loadouts are extremely anti-arena shooter, as it minimizes the need to explore a sandbox of pick-upable weapons and power-ups. And 2, you can level your loadout guns up for better stats, meaning there are no even starts. Players who play more and level up their guns are at an objective advantage over other players. It also removes incentive to experiment with other loadouts, because why would you ever purposefully nerf your loadout by trying a different gun? It's still a fun game, I'm still playing it, and I'm happy that it has players, but I wish it didn't have this loadout mechanic, and I really wish it didn't have level-upable gun stats. Arena shooters need even starts. A note about Splitgate Arena Reloaded is that it's also one of the few games available on both PC and console, and has crossplay between the platforms too. Quake, the undisputed leader of the arena shooter genre. To this day, Quake still has the best gameplay, most active player base, and best overall games in the genre, and we have several options to choose from nowadays. I've mentioned Quake Champions in the past. It's still going strong, averaging over 100 players a day. Fuck, this genre is in dire straits when 100 players is seen as going strong. I still enjoy Champions a lot, but we also have Quake Live, the most popular Quake multiplayer game. No hero abilities, extremely high skill ceiling, and the most players you will find in a Quake game. Quake Live is a lot of quick fun, and the best way to show you that you really fucking suck at Quake. I'm honestly just happy to get a few kills when I play Quake Live, because these guys are brutal. Surprisingly, the older Quake games still have active player bases too. Now I'm referring to the official Kex engine ports for Quake 1 and 2, though I'm sure you can find private lobbies via whatever source port you like with Quake 1 and 2 also. The original Quake is the hardest to find players on. It's a toss-up whether or not other players are on, but I have still been able to find other players on. Quake 2 surprisingly regularly has players on every time I've been on. Quake 2's multiplayer has a little bit of a different vibe from the others, but it's still Quake multiplayer through and through, and I like it a lot. And Quake 3 still has an active player base too, where I've been able to regularly find people to play with. I play with the source port Quake 3E, and it plays very well. I know Quake Live is essentially the successor to Quake 3, but I honestly kind of like the feel of Quake 3 a little bit more. Quake 1 and 2 are also available on console with crossplay between platforms and PC. On the level of sweaty players from sweatiest to most casual experience, I say you'll have the hardest time with Quake Live, then Champions, then 3, then 2, then 1.
Double kill.
Unreal Tournament. On the other hand of the arena shooter spectrum is of course Unreal Tournament. Unreal Tournament definitely has a different feel from Quake, the movement being slightly less technical, and there being a secondary fire for guns being the two biggest differences. I favor Quake, but I still enjoy Unreal. Unreal Tournament has unfortunately been dead in the water for the last decade due to Epic Games killing it in favor of boosting Fortnite. But a small group of dedicated fans have been keeping it alive, and you can download them for free with Epic's blessing from fan sites. I have downloaded and tried the original Unreal Tournament 2004, and Unreal Tournament 4, aka Unreal Tournament 2014. I have been unable to get UT4 working. I have it installed, but whenever I try to register, I get this error. So my experience has been with the original game in 2004. From my experience, the original Unreal Tournament is populated, but it seems like everybody plays heavily modded custom game servers. After long periods of downloading mod files and installing anti-cheats, it's been unstable in my experience, often resulting in crashing. On the chance I do get in for a full game, it's not really the Unreal Tournament experience that I'm looking for. As for Unreal Tournament 2004, it's unfortunately been inactive in my experience. Luckily, both have single-player modes and bot matches, so you can still enjoy the game, and it is genuinely a lot of fun, even playing against bots. Doom. While we're discussing the classics, Doom is easily accessible via the official Kex engine ports too. These are available on console with crossplay and PC. The multiplayer seems fairly unpopulated for the most part. Most people play Doom for the single player, and there will be times that I can't find other players on, but I've also been able to find full matches too. Doom is so much simpler than something like Quake, but it's a ton of fun giving other Doom Guy Marines with a super shotgun. I'm glad that there's an easy option for playing Doom multiplayer. I know that Doomseeker via Xandronum was always an option, but I do prefer the Kex ports. Halo. We can't forget Halo. Yes, Halo is an arena shooter. A slower arena shooter with less mobility tech and health regen, but it's still an arena shooter and a damn good one. Both Infinite and the Master Chief Collection are active on PC, with the Master Chief Collection being slightly more active. I prefer the Master Chief Collection, specifically playing Halo 1, 2, and 3. I don't really play Reach or 4 multiplayer, and I'm always able to find matches. I am sure Halo 5 is still active on Xbox as well. Halo is crossplay with PC to Xbox, which is fun and helps maintain the player base. I've talked about the Halo Infinite multiplayer at length, so go watch that video if you're interested in that, but lately I do favor the Master Chief Collection. I'm glad Halo still has players after all these years.
Open head surgery.
The rest of these games are PC exclusive and are super small indie games and fan games. Up first is Timesplitters Rewind. I love Timesplitters. They're my favorite console exclusive FPS games. They're essentially spiritual successors to GoldenEye and Perfect Dark. They play very similarly. I've always wanted Timesplitters on PC, and I finally got that with the fan remaster, Timesplitters Rewind. This is a fan-made restoration of the single-player maps for Timesplitters 1, 2, and Future Perfect with the multiplayer modes. When the game first came out, there were a ton of players on. Now, I struggle to find any players at all, which is a shame because as a fan game, it's really well done. It's an early beta and still has bugs and is missing some promised features, but it's still a blast to play. And again, it's amazing being able to play Timesplitters on PC. I wish it was more active, especially to show the devs that there's interest in this project. Timesplitters is a unique arena shooter featuring no jumping, but still maintains the frantic pace of what you'd expect from the genre. Health and armor pickups, a huge weapon sandbox, different arcadey game modes, even starts. It's great. If you're a fan of Timesplitters or even games like Perfect Dark and GoldenEye, please get on Rewind. Alien Arena. This is a weird one. I couldn't quite get it to run right, messing with the settings often caused it to crash, and the music and sound effects skipped and stuttered, making for an unpleasant oral assault on my ears. That said, I do really like the aesthetic of this one. It has this grimy, dirty, sci-fi B-movie aesthetic with cool-looking aliens to play as. It's a Quake-style arena shooter, and it feels decent enough to play. The guns generally feel pretty fun to shoot, movement is okay. It's not the best, but it's not stiff or floaty either. Like many of the games in this video though, there was nobody on when I've tried playing. Luckily, Alien Arena does offer bot matches. It's not a terrible game at all, but in my opinion, there are better options out there. Reflex Arena. Reflex Arena is a Quake 3 style arena shooter. It's actually based off the Challenge Pro Arena mod for Quake 3, and as expected, it pretty much plays exactly like Quake 3. Graphically, it reminds me of Warfork with its subtle, cel-shaded appearance. In my time playing, I found a few people on occasionally, though often there is nobody else on that too. It does have the ability to play with bots, which is a huge plus, but the bots are not very smart or good, and they've even glitched out on me. So you won't really get a good challenge playing against them. Still, it's fairly fun, and it's one I could see myself coming back to with more of a player base. Red Eclipse. I was not big on Red Eclipse. It leans more into the Unreal Tournament spectrum, but it felt very stiff and floaty to me. It does have a dash mechanic, which I liked, which added a little bit more speed and mobility to the game, but as a whole, Red Eclipse just didn't feel great to play. It doesn't feel smooth. It also didn't have any other players on when I was giving it a go. It does have bot matches, and the bots seem pretty decent, but I just really don't prefer the overall feel of this one. Spaceflux. Spaceflux is a hard one to review, because I really like the idea of it. It's an arena shooter with fractal-based maps that loop infinitely. It's trippy and unique, and I really love the aesthetic. Unfortunately, for as long as I've had it, I've never been able to play with another player on at the same time, and there are no bot options, so I have no idea how the arena shooter part of this game actually feels. There is a survival horde mode that you can play single player, and it's alright. You can definitely get a feel for the game and some of the guns and the fractal maps, but it's not really the arena shooter experience that I was hoping for. Unfortunately, I don't really see this game ever taking off and getting more players, so it will remain a niche game with a really cool idea. Straftat. Straftat is a weird one. It's ugly, the art direction and graphics are unappealing, the guns are for the most part generic, but it feels pretty decent to play. Movement is smooth, shooting feels good, the general game mode is a one death and you're out of the round style deathmatch with multiple rounds. Last player standing gets a point, first to a certain amount of points wins. It surprisingly has a decent amount of players and I have easily found matches when trying to play it. I didn't really enjoy it though. Like I said, the art direction is unappealing. I'm personally not super into the one death and you're out kind of thing. Some of the mechanics are a little weird too, and I just wasn't the biggest on it. It's not a bad game by any means. In fact, I'd say it's a good game. It's just not my personal cup of tea, especially compared to other arena shooters that I'd rather play. Powerstrife Deathmatch. This is one that I really wish had other people playing, but in my time trying to play it, there has never been another person on. Powerstrife Deathmatch is an indie arena shooter with characters and levels from different haunted PS1 community games. And if you've seen my videos from a few years ago, you know that I'm a fan of the haunted PS1 and Dread XP community of low-poly indie horror games. It's essentially Super Smash Bros. For indie horror games as an arena shooter. Unfortunately, there are no bot options, and with no other players online, I've only been able to run around empty maps, but movement feels pretty good. There's a huge variety of guns to use. There's other game modes, including a peeb mode where you can use peeb like a grapple hook. It's a really cool concept. I just wish there were other players around to actually try it out. Rexuiz. Rexuiz is a fork of the game Nexuiz. From what I understand, Nexuiz was licensed out to a company Ilphonic, who released a new Nexuiz in name only, making many changes that the player base didn't enjoy, resulting in the fork Rexuiz. Rexuiz was made with the intention of essentially being a reboot of the original Nexuiz, so it supposedly plays very similar to Nexuiz and is even compatible with some Nexuiz servers. But I've never played Nexuiz, so I wouldn't be able to confirm any of that. Rexuiz is a Quake-like arena shooter. It's open source and therefore extremely customizable and open to mods and custom game modes. From what I've played, I like Rexuiz. It's essentially Quake 3 with a different coat of paint, though its most popular feature is the ability to dual-wield weapons in the Akimbo game mode, which is the most popular mode amongst the player base. Player activity can be hit and miss. I've been able to find matches, but there have been times it's been empty too. Rexuiz is very good, and a solid alternative to classic Quake.
Finally averted.
Xonotic. And here we come to Xonotic, another fork of Nexuiz that actually predates Rexuiz. And of all the games in this video, I have had the most fun with Xonotic. It is so fucking good, and actually makes me feel like I'm playing games in the early 2010s again, when gaming was a little toxic and had more of a clubhouse feel to it, where players spam audio macros and just dick around during matches. Like this one round that I recently played, we did the entire thing just crouching. Then we tried to do a round where we didn't move at all, only to eventually move and rack up kills, and then try to get it back down to 0 with suicides before the round ended. Stupid shit like that makes online experiences fun again. But then the actual game is extremely good as well. It being a fork of Nexuiz, it's an open source game based on Quake. From my understanding, it runs off a modified Dark Places engine. It feels exactly like Quake. Guns feel great, and the visual aesthetic is cool too. Like Rexuiz, it's open source, making it very open for mods and customization. The game is so customizable, it even has some fractal maps. And best of all, it's populated. I have been able to find matches with other players every time I've logged on. It's awesome. I really recommend Xonotic. It's the best alternative to Quake 3 and Quake Live out there right now. It's been out for a while, so I don't think the community will ever really grow, but I like that it has a small dedicated player base, and it being open source means that the dedicated player base can continue improving it for years to come. And there you have it, a bunch of arena shooters that you should be playing. Let me know in the comments if there are any other arena shooters that I missed that are worth playing and that I should check out, and thank you for watching. Oh, you're still here?